Members, welcome to today's meeting. This is the appointed time and we have a quorum. So I call this meeting to order. Let's invite the administration to come in. Item 1. Information paper issued since the last meeting. The Secretariat has not issued any information paper. Next item, items for discussion at the next meeting. The Secretariat has already issued the list of outstanding items for discussion and the list of follow-up actions, and please refer to the lists. The next regular meeting is scheduled for the 9th of June, Tuesday, at 2:30 p.m. The administration has proposed to discuss two items. 1. Public markets, and 2. Proposed amendments to the sweetness in food regulations, CAP 132U. Let's see if there are views from members. If not, then at the next meeting we're going to discuss these two items. Any views? If not, so be it. These will be the two items. Item 3, new process for handling applications for outside seating accommodation of restaurants. May I welcome Mr. Chair, Secretary for Environment and Ecology and his team to our meeting. Before I invite the administration to walk us through the paper, members, if you want to speak, please press the request to speak button. And then I will now invite the Secretary to walk us through the paper. Chair, members, good afternoon. In order to facilitate businesses of the industry, the Chief Executive announced in the Policy Address 2025 that the FEHD will expedite and streamline procedures for processing applications for outside seating accommodation of restaurants so that patrons and visitors will be able to enjoy our cuisine and our streetscape at the same time. Now, the new mechanism has been adopted in April this year. Under the streamlined mechanism, applicants will be able to provide information in a straightforward manner in the streamlined application form, and the district officers concerned will also conduct local consultations at the same time. Now, we received about 100 applications for OSA, and it took on average 12 months to vet an application and for the approval in principle to be granted. Under the new mechanism, on average, if there is no objection from government departments, the approval in principle will be granted in about a month, and then subject to confirmation by the departments, the application will be approved formally in a month. And if there is any objection, the FEHD can seek a high-level steer and advice, and if need be, the permanent secretary of the departments concerned will have to intervene and provide advice. Now, apart from adopting this new mechanism to streamline procedures without compromising food safety and pedestrian safety and hygiene conditions, the government will also relax the criteria for application. This is welcomed by the industry because this will help them tap new business models. Now, I will now invite the Director of Food and Environmental Hygiene to walk members through details of this mechanism with the aid of a PowerPoint. Mr. Wan. Good afternoon, Chairman, members. I will walk members through the new mechanism. I will first talk about the background, the new joint vetting mechanism, as well as other trade facilitation measures. A new mechanism called the joint vetting mechanism has already taken effect since the 1st of April 2026 for the applications for outside seating accommodation of restaurants so as to expedite and streamline procedures for processing these applications to facilitate business operations. Background. Restaurants operators who wish to provide OSA at their premises must apply to the FEHD. The FEHD will refer the applications to the relevant departments for processing and seek comments. Now, in the past 3 years, on average, the FEHD received 100 applications. The median time for processing such applications was about 12 months. Now, under this new mechanism, we've streamlined the application forms. Under the enhanced application form, key information will be provided for access by government departments, and after completing the preliminary vetting, other responsible departments will conduct checks at the same time. The district officers will also start local consultation in parallel. If there is no objection upon receiving all the documentation needed, the approval in principle will be granted in a month, and then the relevant notice of approval will be given to the applicant. That is a letter of requirements. Now, for more complex cases, if need be, the FEHD will arrange for a joint meeting with other government departments for further discussion with the applicants. Now, if there is objection from the local community, the FEHD may consider imposing licensing conditions or asking the applicant to come up with solutions. For particularly difficult cases, the relevant departments may seek high-level steer from the permanent secretaries of the departments concerned. Now, under the simplified procedures for granting approval, after the applicant has complied with all the requirements set out in the letter, the FEHD will issue an approval letter after conducting an inspection with the Fire Services Department to confirm compliance. And if the FEHD identifies breaches of the relevant license conditions during the inspection, the warning letters will be issued requiring rectification. Now, if 3 warning letters are issued within the 12-month period for the breaches, then the FEHD may cancel the OSA approval, and it will not accept another application from the same restaurant for the coming year. Without compromising food safety, public hygiene, and pedestrian safety, we will suitably relax certain application requirements. For example, where the proposed OSA area does not exceed 50% of the original seating area, applicants are no longer required to increase kitchen space and toilet facilities. Furthermore, where the remaining clear width of a pedestrian walkway after the OSA is set up is not less than 3 meters, then the requirements relating to road usage will be regarded as having been met. And case managers will be assigned by different departments. The FEHG will also accept electronic submission. Between January and March 2026, the FEHG has organized briefing sessions for the catering and hotel sectors. And the new joint vetting mechanism is welcomed by the industry. They are of the view that it could help shorten the application time. Now, there are 7 members waiting to speak. There are other members in another room at the moment, so I will give each member 4 minutes first. Let me read out the names. They will speak in this order: Mr. Stephen Ho, Ms. Christine Fong, Mr. Kisson Yang, Mr. Jonathan Leung, Mr. Hong Kam Im, Mr. Peter Shiu, and I will be the last one to speak. Mr. Stephen Ho. Well, I thank the administration for rolling out the new mechanism to shorten the time frame for approving OSA of restaurants. This can help the sector set up their businesses quicker. In the past year, the situation was not satisfactory. Now, the tenancy may only last for 3 years, and yet it takes a year for this application to come through. So I welcome this new mechanism. Still, I think in relation to paragraph 9, under this new mechanism, you should spell out clearly by how much the time frame will be shortened, because I think at least it will take 3 to 4 months. I don't know if my guess is correct. Second, I think in future, the administration should further streamline procedures, because, say, in some particular districts, it's easy to apply for an OSA of restaurants. So you should do it the other way around. Then that is, if you open a restaurant, then you should allow al fresco dining unless there is objection. Because if you're sure that the government will grant approval for OSA anyway, why will it still take 3 months or so to go through all the steps? So I hope you can further streamline the procedures. Now, about the accumulation of 3 warning letters, I want to know whether this will go by the old mechanism, because usually these warning letters concern going out of the boundaries, noise, environmental hygiene. So perhaps you should educate the sector about all these issues, especially for the newcomers. Secretary, well, I'll give the floor to the FEHD to explain in a moment. Now, I welcome Mr. Ho's suggestion, indeed, about setting out the actual time needed. The approval in principle may be granted in a month, but indeed it will take about 2 to 3 months to formally grant the license, because after issuing the letters, the operator will need to comply with the requirements set out and will need to check first. And if they're able to comply more quickly, then we will be able to expedite the procedures as well. So that means 3 to 4 months. Next, Mr. Yu, Deputy Director. In fact, under the streamlined mechanism, we only need simple steps to go through the applications. Now, like Mr. Stephen Ho said, if the restaurant comes with an OSA endorsement already, then when this operator sells the restaurant to his successor, then the OSA approval will still be valid. And this will continue to be the case under the new mechanism. In fact, under the new mechanism, if there is, say, consent from the new owner, there is no objection from the local community, and they're able to meet the requirement on the width of the walkway, then in fact we can go through these procedures very quickly. As for the warning letters, indeed we have put in place a new arrangement. Under the streamlined procedures, we expedite the approval process, but at the later stage, in relation to non-compliances, we have this warning letter system. That means for the OSA-related license conditions, if they are breached 3 times and 3 warning letters have been issued, then the OSA license will be cancelled. Now, cancellation of the OSA approval would in the past affect the restaurant license, but now we only focus on the OSA area, and we will explain the new requirement to the applicants very clearly. Well, I wasn't quite clear about paragraph 13, so thank you for explaining that to me. Ms. Christine Fong. Well, I think that this new joint vetting mechanism to expedite approval of applications for OSA of restaurants has come rather late, but it's better than nothing. We've been craning our necks waiting for this new arrangement to be put in place. We have some refreshment kiosks, small eateries near rural areas in my constituency, and they are really struggling. And earlier, I brought this good news to the industry, and they were happy to learn that the application procedures could be expedited. And I understand that in the past, they are required to submit 7 to 8 documents. Now, electronic submissions will be accepted by the FEHD. Does it mean that even building plans can be submitted electronically, and that they can just forward all the documents to the typo district office, for example? The second point is about local consultation. We have some composite buildings with objections from the upper floors. these residents complain about, for example, the exhaust fumes or customers smoking. So I'd like to know more about the local consultation process. For example, if there are 10 owners living upstairs, will the applicant be required to get consent from just the majority or all 10 owners? Another point is this. Some restaurant operators have told me that they have received warning letters, and as a result, the restaurant license has been revoked. And under the new mechanism, I understand that you will deal with the complaints relating or the breaches relating to OSA separately, or only the OSA related license conditions will be considered. Now, about increasing toilet facilities because of increased OSA area, I think that you're just trying to make it difficult for the operators because the shop size is fixed. It comes with this site constraint. It is impossible to add another toilet. The next point is on publicity. I see that you have meetings and briefing sessions for the industry. So can you also reach out to restaurants in the Southeast NT, such as Hang Hao Ma On Shan, Sai Kung Chang Wan O, to explain this mechanism?
Secretary, thank you. Chair, thank you, Ms. Fong, for your comments. I will ask the specific departmental representatives to talk about the arrangements on a community level and details about district consultations. You said you welcome our arrangements, the changes specifically, for example, for warning letters, and now restaurants will only be penalized for outside seating accommodation. This is exactly what we want to improve on. I will now ask Mr. Arsene Yu to supplement my reply. Thank you, Chair. Digital applications. The application forms and plans can be submitted online now. We, of course, have been promoting this new service, but we still see some applicants making physical submissions rather than electronic submissions. We continue to encourage electronic submissions. In the past month, we have seen applicants submitting everything of their application online, which we appreciate. As for district consultations, we would see within a 25-meter parameter where there are some private buildings. We will consult the incorporated owners. We will also consult the resident organizations. We may also consult other facility operators. If there is objection during district consultation, if we do not have a lot of objections, we will just impose more stringent conditions. We may still issue the license. But if there are a lot of objections, we will liaise with district stakeholders to get their views, and we may request the applicant to make amendments to their plans so that district stakeholders will accept their proposal. So depending on the number of objections and the justifications, we will do an assessment. We hope to strike a balance. Thank you. Mr. Yang Win-kit, Deputy Chairman. Thank you, Chair. I support the new mechanism. I believe with these arrangements, it will shorten the processing time, and according to government, the time will be shortened from 12 months to a month. I am concerned about the district consultations. You said there is a 25-meter parameter for district consultation. Can you make it wider, say 50-meter parameter? Because within 25-meter parameter, there may just be 2 to 3 housing estates. If you have a wider parameter, you may hear more comprehensive feedback. Of course, when you consult district councillors and the 3 district committees members, you will already have some general directions, but of course we want to have more comprehensive opinions. You also have to work closely with the Home Affairs Department. If you have to issue a license within a month, the Home Affairs Department may not have enough time for holding district consultation sessions. I think you can start before you have received all documents. You can notify the Home Affairs Department early on to hold district consultations. If you have to wait until all documents are submitted, I think it will be hard for you to achieve the target of a month for the issuance of licenses. You also need to work closely with district stakeholders. For example, district councillors. District councillors know well about the circumstances of the neighborhoods. When you are liaising with the Home Affairs Department, you should specifically liaise with district councillors because the views given by them would mean probably half of the information you need. We want to make sure we can do everything within a month. What I'm concerned about is with district consultations, if you only get the views at a later stage, it is not ideal. So please improve on the arrangements if you can. Thank you. I will give a simple response and then I'll ask the FEHG representative to supplement my reply. We have been working closely with the Home Affairs Department. We do conduct vetting and consultation simultaneously to shorten the waiting time, the processing time for issuance of licenses. We do thank your suggestion on consulting district councillors. We do have such arrangements with the Home Affairs Department, and we do think this is a good practice. As for what you said about widening parameter from 25 meters to 50 meters, we will receive more views, but then it can also make simple cases unnecessarily complex. I think we should perhaps consult district councillors instead. We will take 25 meters as the parameter for now, and we'll review the effectiveness. If need be, we will extend the parameter. We believe a 25 meter parameter would have already included those who are directly affected, so I think this is the approach we should adopt for now. Mr. Arsenio. Thank you, Chair. We very much agree with what Mr. Yang said. We do attach great importance to the views of district stakeholders. Like I said, we will go through the Home Affairs Department when we want to undertake district consultations. In some cases, when there are objections from residents, we would hear from district councillors so that we can gauge the views of district stakeholders. District councillors know well what is happening in the different neighborhoods, so with their feedback, we have a better idea of what to do. We want to make sure we strike a balance between facilitating commercial operations and heeding the views of district stakeholders. Mr. Jonathan Leung, thank you, Chair. It is very difficult to apply for outside seating accommodation. In the past 3 years, there are only 100 cases, and in the long term, and as we said, many would take long to process, as long as a year. We welcome this new mechanism, and just for a month or so, we have already a number of cases. We definitely appreciate the high-speed processing. Now, I have some questions. I want to ask about the width of outside seating accommodation. It's 3 meters, is there room for some relaxation so that it can be wider for the width of the passageway? With the application of technology, we can make online submissions now. Would there be a platform for applicants to monitor the progress? With the different measures relaxing restrictions, we want to provide approval of applications within a month. We want to provide as much room for restaurants to provide full services as soon as possible so that they can be more competitive in this difficult environment. Thank you, Secretary. The problems are on specific implementation arrangements. I will ask Mr. Asen Yu to answer the relevant questions. All right, Mr. Asen Yu, thank you. We have already a successful case receiving approval since implementation. For other cases, we have applicants that have not submitted all the requisite documents. We have not seen any complex cases just yet that would require escalation. As for the standards mentioned by the members specifically on width of the passageway or the road, I understand there are some concerns raised by the Transport Department. As long as the width meets 3 meters, it should not be a problem. For those less than 3 meters in width, it would be on a case-by-case basis. We would need to look at different factors. We would have to refer specifically to the circumstances of each venue. Mr. Leung talked about the electronic licensing arrangements. We have a portal where applicants can monitor the latest progress of their applications, including applications for outside seating accommodation. And if it says there's something wrong or something, say, incomplete submission, they can ask the department for more information. Thank you. Mr. Hong Kam-in. Thank you, Chair. I thank the government for streamlining procedures for the approval of applications for outside seating accommodation of restaurants. This will help boost development of different neighborhoods. Would the Bureau consider holding briefing sessions at different district councils so that district councilors have a better understanding of the procedures and they can help facilitate coordination in future? In future, if we have complaints, of course, I'm talking about complaints made in good faith, that is all right. But then when we have malicious complaints, the complaints may target specific individuals, not the actual environment. How will you deal with such complaints to make sure the operations of restaurants can continue? Thank you. Secretary, thank you. Mr. Hong, for your views. We will submit papers to district councils, and if they want to discuss the specific papers, we will deploy representatives to attend the meetings of the district councils for discussions. As for complaints, the FEHD deals with all complaints objectively and seriously. If we have complaints against certain individuals, we will not, after reviewing the circumstances, substantiate the complaints. Thank you. Mr. Asen Yu will supplement my reply. Thank you. We have observed in some cases there would be district stakeholders that would object to a side seating accommodation for a long period of time. We would review the circumstances. We have observed some restaurants have outside seating accommodation, but when another shop wants to provide outside seating accommodation, there are some objections. We will see what the specific grounds of objections are. If they are not justified, we have a new mechanism where we can still approve applications. So it's not that whenever there are objections, we will not allow the applications. We'll review the actual circumstances, and through this new mechanism, we will look at the grounds of objection. We will see what the views of stakeholders are, and we can perhaps impose some licensing conditions to allow certain applications that should facilitate commercial operations. Of course, like the Secretary said, we would review the effectiveness of the arrangements after implementation of the measures. We would also review the nature of complaints to see if the new mechanism is effective. Thank you.
Next, Mr. Peter Xu. Thank you, Chair. Now, on OSA of restaurants in this council, we have been discussing the same for a number of years, and there is a great demand from restaurant operators. We have a capable government, and I'm grateful. We need to make a breakthrough. OSA is somewhat in conflict with the interests of the local community because the OSA takes up public space, and definitely there will be those from the community objecting to using the open space in such a manner. So it's a difficult job for you, and you have come up with this mechanism to streamline procedures. For example, if you can meet the 3-meter width requirement, you don't need to raise an objection. Right, is the timer correct? Anyway, just go on. About Lands Department. We used to have to apply for separate approval from the Lands Department, but now one submission is sufficient. And about increasing kitchen space and toilet facilities, if the OSA area exceeds 50% of the original seating area, well, of course, you have dug really deep and sought an understanding of the real problem, and that is why you're able to streamline procedures. It's very important that the procedures be streamlined to attract locals and visitors and boost local spending. Now, about the 25-meter requirement, perhaps it can be further relaxed. Now, for some government departments, when they conduct local consultation, they only consult residents living in, say, the 100-meter radius. And if you narrow it down to 25 meters, we're talking about some 80 feet or so. Still, you need to balance all the interests. I fully appreciate that. And I really appreciate what the director just now said. We need to consider each and every case and their individual merits. We cannot just shun problems. Now, that perhaps was the mentality of some government officials in the past, and that is why we just dragged on our feet. But in fact, just now we heard a very good explanation. Some objectors came out and object to a particular case only because of the mastermind being another restaurant operator. Now, about this pedestrian width of 3 meters, if this is met, then there is no need to further raise objection. Now, what about 10 meters? Can you tell us if a restaurant provides OSA, you still need to provide a passageway, at least up to the width of an arm of a chair for the disabled. The next point is about noise. Is there a cutoff time? Say after what hour should noise not be generated? What happens if people just hold beer bottles? Well, these are specific issues. I'll give the floor to the FHD. Right, Mr. Yu. Now, the member mentioned 3 questions. And in fact, one point raised in this paper is about the remaining width of the walkway after setting up the OSA. That means as narrow as 3 meters should remain. That means after setting up the OSA, if the remaining width is 3 meters, 10 foot wide, in other words. That's strange. Like what I said when I answered another member's question, if the width is less than 3 meters, then the Transport Department will have to look at that specific case. Now, in other cases, if the width is more than 1 of 3 meters, then it can be done expeditiously. The 3 meter requirement will be deemed as having been met. As for the OSA area, under the current mechanism, the OSA area can remain in operation until, say, 11 p.m. if there is no objection. Now, if there is objection, however, we may tighten the requirements and ask for OSA area to be closed at, say, 10 p.m. If there are strong objections, then we'll have to consider further and discuss with the local community so as to allay their concerns and see whether their concerns can be addressed by, say, shortening the nighttime operating hours. Now, at the moment, the OSA operating hours are up to 11 p.m. Or 10 p.m. if there is objection. That's broadly the case. Right, I have to follow up on one point. That is, there should be a 3 meter wide walkway after setting up the OSA. Right, that's the current situation. But I heard that for restaurants with less than a 3 meter wide walkway, you will look at individual cases. I'm the last one to speak in the first round. It's my time. First, I want to give my word appreciation for the Environment and Ecology Bureau. This idea was first floated in the 2025 policy address, and in April 2026, this mechanism has now taken effect with extensive consultation and strong support from the industry. So this is indeed a good deed. For alfresco dining, we need the involvement of a lot of government departments, FEHD, FSD, Planning Department, Lands Department, Transport Department. So the median processing time in the past was 12 months or more. Now, Director, for other types of licenses which similarly involve different government departments, you should do the same to make sure that the median processing time can be shortened from 12 months to, say, a month. This is the exemplary example because, say, in Foshan City in the mainland, it only takes 14 days to process a similar license. But in Hong Kong, the restaurant operator may need to wait out their tenancy. So will you draw on this joint vetting mechanism experience and promote that to other license applications as well? Next, say I'm looking at the data in 2023, 24, 25, you respectively received 98, 101, 201 applications. Over half of these applications were rejected. May I know why? Has it to do with the site constraints not meeting your licensing requirements, or has it to do with the processing time? Can you explain why the application success rate has been so low for all these years? Now, for details, I'll give the floor to the FEHD in a moment, but let me just start by saying that the FEHD processes different licenses and we try different means to expedite the processing time. For restaurant licenses, for example, at the moment, restaurant operators can engage their own professionals for certification, and upon submission of all the documentation, a temporary or provisional license can be granted. So the time frame is actually dependent on the restaurant operator. If they're able to push the professionals to work quicker, then we'll be able to grant the provisional license quicker, because only after the provisional license has been issued will we conduct checks for the issuance of the so-called permanent license. Now, about the other specifics, I'll give the floor to Mr. Yu. Right, Deputy Director. We've come across cases with different circumstances. Many cases in the end have failed to get our approval. That's because after we issued the letter of requirements, they are required to meet them, and they failed to do that. For example, in the past, with the OSA, we want the applicants to increase kitchen space or increase toilet facilities. They may find the requirement not met because it's not viable. The cost may be high, so they decide not to go further. And if private land is involved, we ask for consent from the private landowner. And in the end, in some cases, these applicants are unable to seek consent from the private landowner because of failed communication or resentment from the landowner. So these OSA applications didn't come through either. It's very difficult to comment on each and every case, so I just gave you an overview of the rejected cases. We're supposed to wrap up this item at 3:30, so we do welcome another round. If you want to speak for the second time, please press the button now, and then I'll draw a line. We have 3 members waiting. I'll give each member 4 minutes question and answer, please. Thank you, Chair. About complex cases, just now I noted what was said in Sai Kung. I did come across this case. Say the director made a very valid point. A number of shops applied for OSAs. All the shops got approved except one, because the shop owner will need to seek consent from all 10 owners upstairs. But usually there is a conflict. These residential owners dislike exhaust fumes, noise, hygiene, poor hygiene. They want a quiet neighborhood. So that's a question for the director. Another point is about the land leases. For composite buildings, usually the shop will have a roof, and then they will be able to put tables and chairs outside up to, say, 4 feet from their shop. And if it doesn't go beyond the 4-foot area, there is no need to seek consent from the upstairs tenants. So it's a question that requires input from all parties. We need to sort out the details of the DMC. Another point is about liquor licenses, and it involves the Liquor Licensing Board. Now we are going to allow pets to enter food premises soon, and you're going to set up a team that will have the involvement of the local community. I'm sure that you will get good advice from them. Another point is about operating hours and the restaurant boundaries. I hope a more relaxed approach can be given. But at the same time, say for this 3-meter wide walkway or passageway, that's the Transport Department's requirement. But it's actually very difficult for tenants. We have some nicely run small eateries in Hong Kong. It's very difficult for them. They just want to put, say, two sets of tables and chairs outside to cater for the needs of patrons with dogs. So for this 3-meter requirement, I hope that you can further relax the requirement. I think I'll give the floor to Mr. Yu. The 3-meter or above requirement is one coming from the Transport Department. That's for the upfront, straightforward cases. For cases with less than a 3-meter wide path, we will consider in greater detail. Now, Ms. Fong made a very good point. Indeed, Hong Kong is very small and crowded, and it is the department's view that the pedestrian walkway should be kept clear at such a width, but we'll at the same time also keep in view other comments from the local community. Well, I am afraid that I have mistaken the point, because very rarely do we see a 10-foot pavement. I just want to make sure that they have the room to put more tables and chairs.
Mr. Jonathan Lang, thank you, Chair, for allowing me to speak for the second round. I would like to follow up on 2 areas. One is on consultations. I was a district councillor before. When we consult residents, honestly, the views they give for liquor license or restaurant licenses, often they would either say they have no comment or they would object to it. Very rarely they would say they agree with the application. In my experience, we should look at the specific contents, the grounds for objections. If there are no obvious issues, we should not impede the progress. If there are obvious issues, of course we want the restaurants to resolve the issues. I think we need to have a better understanding of how district consultations work. As for the 3-meter issue, I do understand the specific department has its requirements, but say for restaurants located at the end of roads, there is no access for vehicles, so I think we can be more flexible and the different departments should communicate with each other better on this. Thank you, Chair. Mr. Asen Yu. Thank you. Regarding what Mr. Leung said, we would conduct district consultations while at the same time coordinating different departments in reviewing the relevant applications. So these take place simultaneously. District consultation views do not necessarily affect other departments in their processing of the applications. And like I said, if there are objections, we would see how many objections there are and what the grounds for objections are. If there are not a lot of objections, while the objections are substantiated, we may just impose more stringent licensing conditions. We want to make the timeline clearer to facilitate restaurants' operations. As for the issue on width, we want to set a standard in a way so if one has more than 3 meters, they will have their applications approved very soon. As for those that have less than 3 meters in width, we will still approve the applications. We need to deal with each case on a case-by-case basis. I understand the applications may be approved eventually, but it is a matter of time needed to process the applications, and if it is at the end of the street, there is no access in a way. Right now, we have applicants filling out the application forms, and the department would say whether they object to the application or not. And if they have reviewed the case, say if the restaurant is at the end of the street, the specific department should be able to tell us within 21 days they have no objections and we can issue the license within a month. Mr. Stephen Ho, thank you, Chair. I believe members in principle support the mechanism. But the thing is, if the licenses are just rolled over easily, then we would not have to have applications made anew. But it is not that easy, so they have to basically start the applications from scratch. The chairman talked about what's happening in Foshan, and I would say with new applications, with district consultations, you have to basically go through the procedures again. We need to overhaul the application mechanism. I think you've already made good progress, but we should think about how we can streamline the procedures even further. Hong Kong's spaces cost much, and if we need 3 to 4 months to process applications, it's better than before, but it's still not very cost effective. We need to have breakthroughs in the mechanism we use. Say if one opens a hot pot shop, there may be objections, and there may be pet restaurants. There may be objections as well. If you make use of an old mechanism, it's fine. I think, however, we do need some breakthroughs. But I accept this is what we have at the moment, and I support the arrangements. Mr. Yang, thank you. Since many members have spoken, I would like to follow up on something. I've been a district councillor for 20-odd years. I don't think it's a matter of 3 meters or 2 meters. It's about protection of public space. If premises occupy public spaces for outside seating accommodation, we need to strike a balance between different views. If they are just occupying spaces of the premises itself, then it would be all right. I think with the 3-meter requirement or condition, I think it is striking a balance. If you have a narrower passageway, it may affect, say, wheelchaired persons. Wouldn't it be unfair to them? And now we're not saying the applications will be rejected outright. It's just that the department will look at each case on a case-by-case basis. Even if the restaurant is located at the end of the street, it is still a matter of occupation of public space. We want to take a stringent stance against shopfront extension because it is occupation of public space. We need to make sure there is sufficient space for residents. I think right now we have the arrangements being fair to all and striking a balance. Now, I also read in the paper not a lot of people submit their views. We would reach out to residents to submit their views, but often consultations would only involve consulting the owners' corporations. I have been a district councillor for many years. I think people have been quite pragmatic. They won't object to an application simply because it is an application for liquor license. And I believe the departments take an objective view. If we are relaxing the requirements under the mechanism, I would essentially object to these changes. This is a comment. I think we all hope the Bureau will strike a balance between livelihood and facilitation of commercial operations. Secretary, do you have anything to say? Well, there are different perspectives mentioned by different members, and for the government, of course, we want to take different perspectives and try to strike a balance, and we are working together to improve people's livelihood. I think what the Secretary said demonstrated quite nicely. We have mutual respect for each other's views in the executive and legislature. All right, that's the end of the discussion of this item. Let's move on to the next agenda item. Collaboration between Hong Kong and the mainland in the areas of agriculture and fisheries. I would like to thank the representatives from the administration for attending the meeting of the previous item. For this item, we have the Undersecretary leading her team in attendance. Members who wish to speak, please press the request to speak button. We have 5 members who have pressed the request to speak button. We may have other members coming from other meetings. I will assign a 4-minute time limit for now questions and answers included. If we have time, I will open for members to speak for a second round. So in the first round, we will have a 4-minute time limit. There is a PowerPoint presentation. When you're ready, Under Secretary, you may brief members on the paper. Thank you, Chair. We are briefing members today on the collaboration between Hong Kong and the mainland in the areas of agriculture and fisheries in recent years, as well as the future directions for development. The government is actively promoting the modernization, intensification of production, high quality and high efficiency transformation, and sustainable development of local agriculture and fisheries. We are also trying to align with the overall goal of enhancing the integrated production capacity as well as the quality and efficiency of agriculture and fisheries as set out in the National 15 5-year plan. We'll leverage on our unique advantage of having the backing of the country and connections with the rest of the world to help the local agriculture and fisheries to take part in the mainland market and actively work with the mainland to develop international markets so that Hong Kong can better serve the development of the country. The AFCD, as early as 2019, signed an MOU with the Department of Agriculture and Rural Affairs of Guangdong Province that has laid foundations for cooperation. We have signed multiple MOUs and cooperation agreements in recent years covering R&D, tariff concessions, talent training, as well as quarantine and inspection. We have also been working with the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs as well as the provincial and municipal departments of Agriculture and Rural Affairs and other organizations and institutions to leverage on the technical experience in the mainland to enhance our capabilities in agriculture and fisheries and try to take advantage of the new technologies to promote synergy in development. I will now ask Dr. Chu to give a PowerPoint presentation. Afterwards, we are more than willing to answer members' questions. Thank you, Dr. Jim Chu. Thank you. We have been working in accordance with the blueprint for the sustainable development of agriculture and fisheries to promote high quality and high efficiency transformation and sustainable development. We are also working with the National 15 5-year plan to enhance our capabilities. Just in recent years, up to yesterday, we have signed different MOUs and cooperation agreements with different institutions. We also have in-depth collaboration with the trades in the mainland as well as institutions to develop different applications and further research and development. Let me first talk about aquaculture. In 2025, we visited some culture bases in Guangdong and Shandong, and the Auto office, we have a container eco-culture system as demonstrations for the fisheries trade. In terms of deep-sea mariculture, we have been working with the South China Sea Fisheries Research Institute and set up a modern mariculture demonstration farm at Tung Lung Chau. I believe many members have visited the farm. This is a pilot demonstration point. In March this year, we worked with the Development Bureau and we have visited the Mers Bay new fish culture zone. We have also visited a different speckled red grouper culture base and other bases for experience sharing. As for capture fisheries, in 2025 on National Fish Releasing Day, we have performed some fish stocking operations. We also keep in close liaison with relevant stakeholders such as the floating fishermen associations and relevant offices to provide training to mobile fishermen. We also undertake enforcement operations jointly. Starting from 2024, we have conducted 16 joint operations on leisure fisheries. We have held many sharing sessions and we have conducted exchanges at expos. We have worked with the South Sea Institute. We have also worked with the Guangdong Recreational Fisheries and Angling Association, attendance a seminar on crop production. In September 2025, we signed an MOU on cross-boundary cooperation in tropical agriculture. We have also visited Shandong and Sichuan provinces for delegation visits. We have worked with the Departments of Agriculture and Rural Affairs of 2 provinces and Institute of Urban Agriculture. In July 2024, we signed an MOU on facilitation of technological exchange and cooperation on sustainable development. In 2024 and 2025, we held multiple delegation visits to Guangdong, Guangxi, Henan to visit, say, pig farms and livestock farms. We are carrying out site formation works for Luowu site. We will refer to the experience we learned in the mainland, making use of Internet of Things and AI technology. The site formation works will be completed within this year. And we will commence operation of this farm before 2032.
We want to expand the 2 markets and international markets, leveraging Hong Kong's advantage of being backed by the motherland and connected to the world. We want to assist the local agriculture and fisheries products in entering the mainland market. We want to actively explore international market opportunities together with the mainland counterparts. On the mainland market in 2019, we signed the protocol on the requirements of inspection, quarantine, and phytosanitization of our Agaricus biscorus mushrooms exported from Hong Kong to the mainland with the GACC. We help the Hong Kong enterprises demonstrate that the white button mushrooms meet the mainland's requirements. And since 2021, the AFCD, together with the Fish Marketing Organization, leveraged on CEPA to sell and export high-quality local fisheries products to the mainland with tariff concessions. In November 2024, we signed the cooperation agreement on the requirements of inspection, quarantine, and hygiene of Hong Kong aquaculture products exported to the mainland with the GACC. That means we increase the species of products exported from Hong Kong to the mainland. We also strengthen the promotion of local produce. For example, for 3 consecutive years, we have participated in the Shenzhen International Fisheries Expo. We also promote high-quality local agriculture and fisheries products with mainland catering, supermarket, and e-commerce. We invited the Guangdong Ocean University to come to Hong Kong for a technical seminar. We explore cooperation opportunities for high-quality processed products. For international markets, in May 2025, we signed a co-op agreement with the Department of Agriculture and Rural Affairs of Shandong. We established the remarkable Shandong Hong Kong Promotion Center at the Changsha Wan Vegetable Wholesale Market. Now, we also have the local fresh sales platform on which we showcase and sell high-quality Shandong agri products. We expand sales channel of their products in the Hong Kong market so as to enhance the brand awareness. The AFCD, together with the VMO and FMO, co-organize the annual Farm Fest that provides a platform for local producers to exhibit their products. And this year, the Farm Fest features a Shandong zone to promote remarkable Shandong quality products. As for the way forward, we'll strengthen cooperation with mainland authorities in upgrading, transformation, and modernization. We'll implement and optimize the relevant agreements and MOUs, and we'll discuss with the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs on an MOU on strengthening talent training and technical exchanges. We'll continue to deepen trade cooperation in ANF products between the 2 places. We'll launch a new unified brand for local produce. We'll develop certification, testing, and tracing systems. And we'll also make sure that the products meet the safe, low-carbon, high-quality indicators. We'll participate in this year's Shenzhen, Shanghai, and Qingdao International Fisheries Expos and have exchange meetings with the TDC during the Food Expo in Hong Kong. The VMO will continue to strengthen cooperation with provinces and cities in the mainland, will provide rental facilities in wholesale markets to facilitate trade and information exchange between mainland, provincial, and municipal enterprises and local and overseas industries. We have 4 plots of land currently up for open tender. We will invite interested industry participants and mainland enterprises to participate. Depending on market response, more sites will be put up for public tender in the second half of this year. Thank you. We have 8 members waiting to speak. Let me read out the names. Each will have 4 minutes. Stephen Ho, Kitson Yang, Hong Kam In, Jonathan Leung, Chen Pok Chi, Christine Fong, Peter Shiu. Mr. Stephen Ho will kick off. Thank you, Chair. I thank the SAR government for their efforts in implementing the initiative set out in the blueprint, and that we are making progress while seeking stability. However, for some areas, we have made progress about this Tonglong Chao demonstration farm. In fact, we wanted to put a robotic arm there, but according to the Marines Department, that will change the safety coefficient. So it's very difficult to modernize the fisheries industry. Please make sure that there is good coordination among government departments for the purpose of developing the marine economy, or at least for these departments to have a better understanding of the ANF industries in Hong Kong. Now, about the positioning of the local fisheries industry is not just about food safety or the quantity produced. It's about where our strengths lie in the global food supply landscape, and that means we have very good standard and we have good T&C services for food safety. Now, it's rarely heard of, but in fact, we have made a lot of progress in seed and saplings trading. But this falls under the import and export sector and not under the AMF sector. After the last exchange, the AFCD chipped in and introduced a seed bank after drawing reference from Shandong. Now we want to improve the prospect for farmers. We should not go for the species already grown by other places. We want to go for the more functional products. Say if you want to grow rice, you need to make sure that our species are special, that comes with special functions, so that we can demonstrate to our country that we have quality products and that we can tap not only the mainland market but the global market as well, so that we can showcase our strengths, especially in areas with a shortage of manpower. Now, about this mainland brand, you talked about the Shantung Promotion Center in Cheung Sha Wan vegetable marketing or a wholesale market. But we are not trying to take jobs away from the locals. We want to make sure that we are a bazaar that can accommodate products from different places, so that we can revitalize the wholesale market. Last time in this council we had a debate, and I mentioned that it's not easy to register as a vendor in the wholesale market or in the fisheries market. Even for the catering industry, you need to apply in advance for registration. So that means we need a revamp of the old system. We need to conduct a review. You should allocate more time for this review. Lastly, Director, I thank you for joining our visits to Inner Mongolia. We understand that it's quite difficult to take forward food or agricultural development. We had 9 showers in 2 days on the visit because of the very high quarantine requirements when we visited the pig breeding farms. So I hope members of the public will really cherish the supply of pork from the mainland. We have some quality pork from the pig farms in the mainland. Now, Undersecretary, please make sure that we improve food safety and environmental hygiene at the fresh provision shops. It's really heartbreaking to see that the rodents are having a feast on the pig carcasses out there. Right, let's answer the first question, Undersecretary, about this steel truss cages and the robotic arm. Dr. Zhu. Now we are going to put in place the relevant components for the new steel truss cages. Right, so the Marine Department already has an understanding of your gadget, right? Right, please allow Dr. Zhu to answer. Can we have an update, please? Now for the new steel truss cages to be put there, we'll make sure that the relevant components will be installed. Mr. Kitson Yeung, I want to speak on deep sea aquaculture as well. About 1 or 2 years ago, I wanted to encourage my friends to apply for the license for deep sea aquaculture. But then for the deep sea cages, they come with really high costs. That's $20 million per cage. So for this scale of investment is quite impossible. Although the government said that you can actually rent a cage, it's still quite costly. Can we further bring the cost down? Because only when you have lower overheads will you be able to make competitive products. Will we be able to tap overseas markets? Because if costs come down, then we will have a competitive edge. So for the next step, we should explore ways to lower the cost for operating deep sea cages. I showed Dr. Zhu. Well, actually, these deep sea cages may not be suitable for Hong Kong. In fact, earlier I visited the Ocean University in Zhejiang. I know that these deep sea cages are less costly, but they are not suitable for Hong Kong. So can we work with universities here to develop deep sea cages catered for the needs of Hong Kong, which are less costly? Because only by doing so, will we be able to benefit local fishermen so that we can improve both quantity and quality of our production? Right, this is just a comment. Let's hear from Dr. Zhu whether it's possible to lower the cost of deep sea cages. Dr. Zhu? Thank you. This is a balancing exercise. Safety comes first when it comes to deep sea aquaculture. So we need to make sure that requirements are met if we are to increase capacity. If we're able to meet the safety requirements and lower costs, then of course we will look into these options. Right, I still have time. I want to ask a follow-up question. Will you work with different universities on, say, the research? Because like I said, I visited the Ocean University in Zhejiang, and this is also a place focused on deep sea mariculture, and they are able to manufacture cheap deep sea cages. I want the government to work with local universities to study different technologies without compromising the safety coefficient, so as to drive costs down and benefit mariculturists. Right, Dr. Zhu, I suppose you had an exchange with the Ocean University of Guangdong. We will continue to exchange ideas with local universities. Of course, we will continue to foster exchange with mainland institutions and local universities. Next, Mr. Hong Kam In. Thank you, Chair. Well, I appreciate the government's efforts in implementing initiatives to improve agriculture in fisheries industries in Hong Kong. They contribute to our economy as well. I'm happy to see that the Shandong province counterpart has set up a promotion center in Hong Kong. Now, I used to help my mainland friends operate such a business. I think this is a good idea, and this should be promoted in Hong Kong. That is remarkable Shandong products. We have other provinces as well, Fujian, Guizhou. In fact, yesterday, I received calls from mainland enterprises. They want to sell their products to Hong Kong as well. So, are you going to expand this promotion effort to cover not only Shandong but other provinces and cities as well? And what is the contact point? Because this will help the whole world understand the A&F products in the mainland better through Hong Kong and the Secretary. We welcome the member's suggestion. In terms of promoting remarkable A&F products in the mainland, we liaise very closely with the mainland governments and enterprises. Apart from setting up centers such as the remarkable Shandong Hong Kong Promotion Center, the government also received delegations and government officials from Guangdong, Shanxi, Sichuan provinces and Ningxia, as well as Hunan, in order to explore channels to be set up to promote their products. In fact, the VMO operates the premises with stalls for rental by interested parties from these provinces and cities. And the Hong Kong TDC runs an annual Hong Kong Food Expo. For provinces such as Shandong, we have regular liaison with them. We invite them to take part in our expo. So we do have a network set up. So as said just now, we have regular liaison with other provinces and cities. If they're interested, we can further explore the mode of cooperation so as to help them tap our market and go global.
Next, Mr. Jonathan Blanc. Thank you, Chair. The government has enhanced cooperation with mainland agriculture and fisheries. It has helped enhance local capabilities and stabilize supply of food. We support that. And in the mainland, they have all along attached great importance to the price and stability of supply of provisions. We should follow this practice. In paragraph 13, we have talked about how the site formation works for the Lowell Pig Farm is currently being done, and it is expected to commence operation by 2032. We haven't talked much about livestock. We have great demand for livestock products, and we have limited supply locally. The price would be ranging from $200 to $300. General public can't really afford fresh livestock prices. So does the administration have any plans for enhancing fresh livestock supply? Frozen chicken and live chicken differ quite a lot. If we can have more fresh livestock supply, it will definitely enhance competitiveness. Can you talk about what the plans of the government are? Thank you. Undersecretary. Thank you. Every day, on average, we have 11,500 live chickens. When we plan for facilities such as the one in Area 67 and the market in Kutong North New Development Area, we have planned for some live poultry stalls. As for live chicken supply, we do make adjustments from time to time. If members have any particular suggestions, you are more than welcome to submit them to us and we'll consider them. As for importation of chicken or poultry from the mainland, it is often a commercial consideration. We do maintain liaison with mainland authorities and trades. If we have any updates, we will report to members on such. Mr. Chen Pak Chi, during the PowerPoint presentation, we have talked about the National Fish Releasing Day. It has been received very well by the public in Shenzhen or the Greater Bay Area in general. Do we have plans to do more of such activities? And in the paper, it mentioned there are some training sessions for mobile fishermen so that they can obtain some sort of certification. I think this is a good arrangement. We should do more. We have also some 16 joint operations done with the General Brigade in Guangdong. How can we enhance enforcement even further to achieve greater deterrence? Hong Kong is an attractive location for international markets. Are there specific plans for further development of the local agriculture and fisheries? The PowerPoint presentation mentioned the launch of the unified brand, and will we have specific plans for how to increase the market share of the Greater Bay Area trades? We have the Vegetable Marketing Organization and FMO's history being close to 80 years. Are there any plans of the government to really boost the marketing organization's operations? Thank you, Undersecretary. There are many questions. As we have limited time, I will answer 2 questions first, and if there's any time left, I will ask the AFCD representative to supplement my reply. On fish restocking activities, in 2024, we held such activity for the first time, and in 2025, we worked with the Shenzhen authorities to hold National Fish Release Day activities. The activities were indeed received quite well. Now, in future, we have a specific committee on tourism that talked about this being made into a characteristic activity. We will continue to work with the Mainland to flesh out arrangements relating to fish restocking activities, including the breeds, the modes of restocking. We will also invite Mainland experts to take part in fish restocking workshops held locally. We will also hold some fish visits to fish nurseries so that we can have a better we can enhance public awareness. As for the unified brand for local agricultural and fisheries products, having this will help enhance reputation of such products. It should also enhance competitiveness of the products to increase revenue for farmers and fishermen. Before summer break of this year, we will report to the relevant electrical panel, well, specifically this panel, on our arrangements and consult members on their feedback, especially in relation to the traceability certification mechanism. If the chairman will allow it, I will ask the representative from the AFCD to supplement my answers, of course. Thank you, Chair. We have members talk about VMO and FMO. We have seen different demands of the public for food and agricultural and fishery product supply. There have been multiple developments in recent years, and in future, with a unified brand for local agricultural and fisheries products, the VMO and FMO will play a bigger role in promotion to the different trades to see how they can do more. We also have Shandong products being promoted through the initiative of the VMO. If we have other provinces and municipalities that would want to do that, we can have a VMO help with that. Thank you. Ms. Christine Fong, thank you, Chair. I actually grew up in the Central Market, and my parents dealt with poultry, specifically chickens and ducks. So I have much to say about chickens and ducks. The Undersecretary said we have 11,500 live chickens per day. That is not a lot for the population. Most households won't have live chickens to eat, and in the Chinese culture, without live chickens, it will definitely affect people's diets. So like Mr. Jonathan Leung, I want to ask if we can enhance the supply of live chickens. If we only consume chilled chicken, this means for a decline in the quality of lives of the people because the chicken do not taste as good. I welcome the culture farm in Tonglong Chau. I want to ask if you can expand the sales channels of the products. We have northeastern territories focusing on agriculture. The southeastern New Territories section, such as Sai Kung and Tranquil, don't have much in agriculture. So if we can promote mariculture, it can really boost the economy in these areas. I actually talked about before for agriculture, say we would have to purchase expensive vegetables in, say, Chern Kwan O because it costs much for transportation from northwestern New Territories. Can we have more fresh vegetables agriculture available in Chern Kwan O? I also note the relevant Guangdong Angling Association has some leisure fisheries operations. We have some leisure fisheries operations in different areas, but it seems that the operations do not allow citizens to do much. Can we improve on the operations so that citizens can do more? We have talked about there being 4 sites available for open rental tender. Will we have one in Sai Kung? For example, in Taipo, we would see along the roads we have plants planted. I hope that in Sai Kung we can plant, say, lavenders and sunflowers and on the roads, and in a way it can be developed as an industry, and we can promote local supply of such plants. Thank you. Undersecretary. I want to first address the question on live chickens. We do have some stores available in Chern Kwan O and Kutong North in future, and if the chairman will allow it, I will ask the AFCD representative to supplement my reply in due course. Sure, we have time. All right, on to the next question. As Ms. Christine Fong said, for live chicken. As I said earlier, on average every day, 11,500 live chickens are imported, and if necessary, we can adjust the supply. Live chickens imported from the mainland. People import live chickens from the mainland. They have their own commercial considerations. How can we make sure there is good communication between the trade and mainland authorities to make sure things are smooth? We have been maintaining liaison. Undersecretary, in a market of Kowloon City, a chicken would cost $280 alone. There's no way for us to be competitive. So there is really a need to increase supply. Let me supplement the information provided by the Undersecretary. A few years ago, live chicken imported from the mainland had avian flu, but Hong Kong has always made sure the market is open, but there are not a lot of live chickens available from the mainland to be imported to Hong Kong in the first place. I'll let the Undersecretary continue her reply. As I said earlier, there are some commercial considerations. So we allow live chickens. So farms, based on their commercial considerations, don't export chickens to Hong Kong. They have their revenue considerations. I will now ask the AFCD representative to supplement the answers. Right. For VMO and FMO, they have some physical selling points with multiple retailers. And I believe members have visited some of the selling points. We have about 100 selling points in large supermarkets as well as shops and restaurants. We want to continue to expand the network as we see the launch of the unified brand. We will have it available in different corners of Hong Kong. Thank you.
Next, Mr. Peter Chiu. I have a question about paragraph 14. This paragraph is about expansion into markets of the two places and the international market, and that we want to enhance competitiveness of the local produce. The AFCD is striving to introduce the new unified brand for local produce in the middle of 2026 together with certification services. Can you explain that? Under Secretary, we mentioned just now that before summer break in the middle of this year, we are going to consult the Legislative Council on this new unified brand to be rolled out. As explained just now, we are going to work on a number of fronts. We want to enhance the credibility of the unified brand. The Sustainable Agriculture and Fisheries Fund will subsidize the Hong Kong Quality Assurance Authority to conduct a study on the setting up of a testing and certification mechanism to make sure that those local operators joining the unified brand scheme will meet the safety requirement indicators and the testing requirements. As for ascertaining local production, we are going to put QR codes on the packaging for identification. This can allow access to information about the new unified brand. About the certified products, we have a system to help trace the farm of origin. And as mentioned about local promotion, the VMO, FMO, and the relevant stakeholders will also take part in the process. From the Sustainable A&F Fund, we have set aside funding to subsidize A&F associations to mount publicity so as to enhance consumers' awareness of the new unified brand and also to enhance the practitioners' understanding of the social corporate responsibility and the procurement requirements. This can also enhance or incentivize the local F&B sector, retail sector to procure local produce, and by doing so help enhance our competitiveness. About this modernized, multi-story, eco-friendly pig farm, this is something that a lot of practitioners look forward to. Can you give us an update. Now, the tendering exercise concluded some time ago. The department is now going through and assessing the tenders. In due course, we will select the suitable operator and then we will award the contract. We're still at the tender assessment stage. About this modernized, multi-story, eco-friendly pig farm, well, I think you do receive public expectation here, because if we set up this multi-story building, we'll be able to release land for other purposes, and we'll have a professional pig farm multi-story building. But at the same time, you need to be mindful about the existing pig farmers. In fact, they've approached me a number of times. They want to be able to join this modernized facility, but because of insufficient compensation and they're short of funds, they are unable to join. So please do monitor the situation, and if need be, help them join the modernized pig farms. Yes, we have been liaising with the pig farmers, and we also have been coordinating with the Development Bureau. The progress should be smooth. I'm the last to speak on this item. As mentioned in the paper, we do have co-op agreements signed with the mainland counterparts on agriculture and fisheries. We have the backing of the motherland. We are connected to the world. We help Shandong produce go global through the remarkable Shandong Hong Kong Promotion Center. Now, the AFCD has made a lot of efforts. In fact, earlier you invited LegCo members to try the new local A&F produce as well. It's low carbon, it's safe, and it's a very good try. Now, you talked about this species of pumpkin and cherry tomatoes, etc. Well, I think these are all very good examples of local produce. Now, we face the world and we're connected to the motherland. I think if we're able to build our local brand and tap the mainland market, we can help improve the income of the industries. Because at the moment, they do have online sales channel, but the response has been lukewarm. So I think the first step is to help the local operators tap the mainland market before going global. My second point is this. I think this is set out in the PowerPoint as well. A member asked a similar question that's about livestock breeding. The EFCD led a number of delegations to pig farms in Inner Mongolia, Guangdong, and Shanxi, and for the first time, we are soon going to commission a new multi-story modernized eco-friendly pig farm. We recall a number of episodes affecting the A&F industry, such as the Japanese encephalitis affecting pigs in pig farms. So in the future, we need to rely on AI in this multi-story pig farm. According to the paper, you're going to adopt technologies such as AI, but I don't see any specifics. What technologies are you going to adopt, drawing on the mainland experience, such as AI, to help improve livestock breeding, such as and make the place more eco-friendly? Next, I think talent succession is very important, because we always have this impression that the A&F sector is quite backward. People are, operators are old, but in fact, for the QS ranking, we have one of the agriculture universities in the mainland that ranks the 5th among 470 agriculture universities in the world. So we're faring quite well. Is it possible to work with the agriculture university of our country to run training courses so as to groom successors for the A&F industry in Hong Kong? Right, there are two questions. First, on the multi-story pig farm, and second, training for local farmers and fishermen. I will give the floor to the AFCD in a moment to take that question. First, I thank Chair for showing appreciation for local produce. Now, to answer the question on tapping the mainland and the global market, let me respond to that. About this new unified brand and the work of the VMO and FMO, I'm not going to repeat the same point about helping our local operators reach out to high-value retail and catering markets. The FMO follows up on this aspect and help promote A&F products to the local market. And through the CEPA arrangement signed with the mainland, tariff-free concessions are offered for local operators to export quality local A&F produce to the mainland. We also actively take part in, say, various expos, such as the International Fisheries Expo in Shanghai, in Shenzhen and Qingdao. And we also promote to the e-commerce, supermarkets, and catering industry in the mainland about our local products. I'll now give the floor to Dr. Choi. Thank you, Chair. I want to explain the multi-story, eco-friendly pig farm that is modernized. And we do make improvements in terms of biosecurity because of the new design of the farm. Now, when it comes to construction of this building, we adopt the latest technologies to improve ventilation, drainage, sewerage. At the same time, we also have some advanced technologies imported from the mainland, such as more precise feeding methods. And we make use of the Internet of Things and AI. For example, even for piglets, we're able to monitor them and the health conditions in a quite precise manner. So this is a modernized approach that helps save manpower as well as improving biosecurity. And this is our way forward. Now, Chair also mentioned agricultural universities and research institutions in the mainland, and I'm all for cooperation. As mentioned last year, we went on different visits. We also established network with the mainland tertiary institutions, including the Agricultural University in the mainland. If need be, we'll see if it's possible to enlist their help to help us improve. Right, if so, please collaborate and organize some training courses. They are doing very well. They ranked the 5th. Right, any other questions from members? If not, I thank the Undersecretary and her team. That's the end of this item. Right, last item, any other business? There being no other business. If there are no further questions, the meeting is adjourned here. Thank you.